Hello, welcome to History 4070, Section 1 for the Internet, Fall 2023 semester. This class is called Slavery in the Americas, and I am the instructor for the course. My name is Dr. James McDonald, and I'm thrilled that you are a part of this class that has been in the NSU catalog for a number of years, but now it is part of the Black Studies minor that we offer here at the university. It's one of several history classes required for that area of study. So this is, for the most part, a comparative look at Atlantic slavery. So we call it slavery in the Americas, plural, meaning it would be what we will know as the United States, time before it was the United States, the areas of the Caribbean, Central America, and South America. So that kind of comparative approach is what we will get out of the textbook and understand that this is Atlantic slavery, meaning connections to Europe and Africa and the Middle Passage and everything associated with the over 400 years of Atlantic slavery until it came to an end in the 1860s, at least in the United States. So make sure that you check your email for a message about the books. And I will tell you that our main textbook, I think I have a slide for that. Let's take a look at that. There we go. On the left, we have our main textbook. This is David Bryan Davis's Inhuman Bondage, The Rise and Fall of Slavery in the New World. David Bryan Davis spent his entire academic career talking about slavery, different parts of the world through the historical lens, and he's considered, again, a giant in the field. This book is very approachable. It is written like a textbook. It is written in chapters that are manageable and that will give you different perspectives on the study of slavery. That's a secondary source. Your source on the right is a collection that is actually edited by Henry Louis Gates Jr. So he's not necessarily the author, because the authors are within that collection of narratives. We're going to be reading two of them. Now, I've got some information from the bookstore that this book is on back order, but we will work around that because we will be able to get you electronically the two narratives that you need to read, and that would be the one from Equiano and also the narrative of Frederick Douglass, born on an American farm plantation before the years of the American Civil War. Okay, let's get out of that. Those are your two textbooks. You'll be reading two of the narratives in the book on the right and most of the David Bryan Davis book, but that will be all part of the syllabus. In this first section, you have some information that's essential. We have a new statement about AI. The use of artificial intelligence falls under the whole idea of plagiarism, so we have methods by which we will check that. So when you have assignments, whether they be the short response papers, the discussion boards, there's an expectation that you will write these in your own words. If you do not, that is theft from the internet, and you will be given 0 credit for that. So taking it off the internet fair and square is not an excuse. This class is set up so that you will develop critical thinking skills, and you're tested on that material, and you're also, part of your grade is made up of discussions on the readings and on the lectures that will be posted, supplementary lectures, and other materials. So you have a rubric for the discussions, and we'll get into detail about how many discussions we have in the course of the semester. I'm going to open 1 week at a time. It's not a free-for-all. It's going to be conducted like a structured face-to-face class. So Moodle is where you go to complete the assignments. It also has what you need to do every week. So you can get that off the syllabus, which we will look at right now. And we will also be able to see that work that you need to do in Moodle. So you can go back and forth and check those two resources. So let's take a look at the syllabus. Okay, I am in Kaiser Hall for any of you who want to visit, but I'm guessing most of you will communicate through email. I have student hours, meaning it's kind of the time you'll get the fastest response, 7 to 11, that's a.m. I'm really not up at 11 p.m. So make sure if you want to contact me, you do a few things. The first is that you spell my name correctly. It's MacDonald J, M-A-C. And in the very little used subject line of the email that no one, everyone skips over and just, writes the body of the email, put some reference to what class you're in. Not American history, not history, but History 4070, slavery in the Americas, something to identify you with your class. And that way your email will get answered because it's a requirement of my emails. I'm going to be running between 6 and 8 sections of different classes, all in history, but in very different subject matter. And I do not have everyone's name committed to which class you are in. So please do that. My phone number for the office is there. The other information that you see is the textbook and a reminder that we're going to be reading, at least in the Gates edited classic slave narratives, 2 of those in that anthology. So obviously our class deals with slavery from the time of exploration and colonization. Slavery did exist, and we will learn about the ancient origins of slavery. Slavery that was not connected to a skin color from the beginning, but that it did develop that way later in the 14 and 1500s. So the origins of racism and anti-black ideas that justify the system of slavery over 400 years. So that is our story. So as I say there in the description and the objectives, it's going to be a comparative approach. We will talk about the rise of abolition, the criticism of slavery, efforts to end the slavery throughout different parts of the world, whether that be in Europe, in different parts of the Atlantic world, and of course in Africa itself, a continent that is integral to the story of slavery and the Middle Passage, and the 12 million Africans who were taken during the time of Atlantic slavery to parts around the world, or a larger number. We have estimates, but we don't have exact numbers. Okay, so the readings you will have to do. There were discussion board assignments that are based on the readings. And so these discussions, and there will be 4 of them, each worth 25 points, and it tests your knowledge on the books, the audio lectures that will be posted. There's supplementary lectures that either I do, and they will be a video recording that you'll watch. They will have PowerPoints, and you will be able to take notes. Sometimes they will be from other resources on the internet. If I find something that I think is very useful for you, I will post those as well. So keep that in mind, and the schedule for those are on the syllabus, and finding them, obviously, that will be on Moodle. So that covers the part of the readings. The discussions will have to be, again, in your own words, not generated, cut and pasted from the internet or thrown through any kind of artificial intelligence device. They must be at least 200 words. This class is vigorous. This is a 4,000 level class. And so you have multiple readings and you have a lot of assignments. And that is the expectation in a class that is set up to be challenging to you. Okay, the lectures are there. You will see audio lectures. They will have, again, PowerPoints that I constructed and I will be speaking over. It is part of the class. It is not something you just jump over to get to the reading or something else. We will have exams and we will have papers. So those are the 3 areas where you have grades. Discussion boards, 2 response papers, and they will be 2 to 3 written pages. And they come from the 2 narratives, slave narratives that you are reading. As you can see, that comes from the Equiano narrative and the Frederick Douglass narrative. Okay, so if you don't see the book right away, as I told you from the beginning, I will get you access to them. They may be electronic access of those two narratives, or the books will come in to the bookstore. One way or the other, we will get you access. Okay, we have 3 exams. They are made up of multiple choice questions, 2 midterms and 1 final exam. So you have 3 total exams. You have 2 papers, each worth 100 points. And then you also have, in class, I call them assignments. By that, I mean discussion boards. 4 of them, each equaling 25 points. There are due dates for all of this. So, every late submission, the due dates are clear. Every day late. And a day counts as not just Friday to Monday, but a day. This is an internet class. You have access to the internet basically all the time. So, every day is a day. And your late assignments will be penalized 1 letter grade. So, turn those things in when you are supposed to. We also have the required NSU statements that you should be aware of. There are a number of resources on campus for any issue, whether it be for testing, any kind of issues that you may run into with sexual harassment or assault. We have the diversity and equity and inclusion statement. We have statements on social media. And of course, a new section on mental health and wellness. And these have resources, offices, and again, areas of campus that you can utilize. So that hopefully you will see in every syllabus on campus, certainly all of mine. Okay, here you have the class schedule. Fairly straightforward. Every week I put up there what you need to do, and then you go to do it in Moodle. So I'm not going to go through and read all of the different elements of the assignments, but you can see where you have exams. You can see where you have discussions that are due. There's a reminder of what lectures you will need to look at, and then the reading. You need to keep up with the reading as it appears on the syllabus because you don't want to play catch up and you don't want to read an entire narrative of Ecciano or Frederick Douglass right before exam time and right before you have to turn in a response paper. So the response paper topic will be posted on Moodle way ahead of when the assignment is due. So you'll have that in front of you as you do the reading. So let's go back to Moodle. Again, I promised this was going to be a relatively short introduction. So for week 1, you have reading to do. That's week 2. There we go. Week 1, you have to read the prologue that tells you a little bit about the author's priorities. People think, oh, the intro you just skip over, but you don't. You need to take that seriously. And then you'll read chapter 2. Not every chapter of the book, the ones that are assigned. In week 2, we have the theme of what we are going to be doing. We have a lecture on Africa. It sets the stage for Atlantic slavery. It doesn't cover much in the book, so I thought we should have a lecture. You have a PowerPoint there if you'd like to look at that, but it's mostly integrated into the lecture. And then you have your first discussion where you will click here, and then you will answer the question, which is posted here based on your reading. We also have reading and listening guides, which are kind of big themes that you will need to consider as you do the reading, as you listen to the lectures. Week 3, you've got another chapter for you to read. Week 4, there is another discussion. I'm not going through every single week, but you kind of get the idea of what is required of you every week. And in week 5, we have our first exam. Kind of how it is set up right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in week 5, and it will be open, as you can see, from Thursday to Sunday. So that's the expectation. You need to take it there, not before, not after. So again, this class is structured. It is a class that you need to keep up with. I am not there in a classroom to tell you, hey, you've got such and such assignment to do. You have to look at Moodle, look at the syllabus, and keep up with your readings, assignments, your watching of the lectures, and everything else that is required. Again, this is a vigorous, demanding course. It should be. This is our only in-depth class on Atlantic slavery at NSU. It is a class for majors, and it is a class for other folks specializing in different areas of study. So I hope you enjoy it. Welcome to the class, and have a great semester.